guys? Here's for another episode of the TDM show. As always, we're going to talk about some video game stuff here, probably stuff that's not video game related, but I got the two coolest dudes we got here in Kansas City talking about video games with me. I got Matt and Caleb. What's up, gentlemen?
Not much.
I don't know if coolest cuts it, considering that one is having an AC problem, the other had to turn on the fan.
Well, I mean, we're just that awesome. We have to, Shut up, Matt. What up, Caleb?
I'm good. Life is strange. Not the movie or the video game, but nice reference.
There's a video game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. I'm
following. But there's like 4 of them.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait, didn't you play? Nope, never mind. No, got it.
Yeah. The Telltale games?
No, they came on after Telltale disappeared, but before Telltale came back.
Really? I was 100% sure they were Telltale games.
Similar, but not quite.
Yeah. Okay, I feel it. Sorry, I cut you off.
So, Caleb, we missed you last week. I did want to apologize. I felt kind of like, I told Matt this, felt kind of like I was pressuring you a little bit into playing the game and stop doing adult things. So,
no. Never apologize for encouraging me to do ratchet things with my ratchet friends. Yep.
Very well then.
I don't know if you know what the word ratchet means.
Hey, listen, at this point, I haven't left the house. So as long as...
Well, that's not very ratchet.
No, that's what I'm saying. I haven't left the house. So anything that's not adult, behavior is considered ratchet at this point. Because we have to adjust to our new normal. So, if I don't shower for 3 days, I'm ratchet. If I do shower 4 times a day, same thing, ratchet.
All right. I'll appease to those terms.
Well, gentlemen, what have you guys been playing this week?
So this week I had started streaming hard mode on Final Fantasy, and I think I'll do that throughout my endeavors to platinum. So I'm calling it All Out Road to Platinum. I think it was very fitting. And also, I've been playing a lot more Pokemon Sword, getting ready for the DLC that's coming out in June. And as usual, just playing Animal Crossing.
This man's got a whole slate of video games. Not a gamer. Get out of here. I progressed all the way through to the final boss of Final Fantasy. Have not yet beat them, or what I think is the final boss, but, no spoilers yet. I'm going to beat it tonight. I think I was like, I'm at the point where I was like, I just need to sit up in my chair and actually just play seriously and beat it, just so I can have the resolution. Because I have this problem where I get right to the end, and then I'll just I'll beat it later, 4 years later, and get back to it. Played a lot of Call of Duty this week just because it's easy to pick up and play with the homies. And then there was a Steam sale. One of the homies sent me a gift. So somebody sent me Killing Floor 2. Shout out to the homie Toby. My boy Naveed has been going ham on Civ 6, and there was a sale on that, so I scooped that. And then I got a notification for, they're doing this thing called, publisher sales now on Steam. So I'm a big XCOM fan. Played 1, played 2. Well, played XCOM 1, the remake, and then played XCOM 2. And there's this new XCOM series called Chimera Squad. It was $10. I was like, all right, cool. Been playing that. Just sounded like some RTS games to have on the other screen. And since it's turn-based and strategy games, I don't really have to put that much attention to it. I can do whatever I'm doing and then look over on the screen and decide what my next action is and then go back to what I'm doing. What about you, Greg?
I have been finalizing my platinum for Final Fantasy VII.
How close are you?
I'm 2 trophies away.
Nice.
I have the 2 hardest parts of the games to play. I stumbled across the Bad Breath trophy because I thought you had to unlock and beat all of the prior fights in the Shinra VR, and was like, let's try the hardest one down here. It's a 3-man one because all the other ones you have to do single. You have to do a single 5-man round with Aerith, Barret, Tifa, and Cloud. Surprisingly, Aerith was the easiest, but whatever.
Can we talk about Aerith for a second? She's broken. She's fundamentally broken. She's an overpowered character.
But she's also has no defense.
100%. Like if she gets hit, she'll die. But she's the definition of a glass cannon. We'll circle back to this discussion in a little bit because there's a part of Final Fantasy that like took me an hour, and I just switched to Aerith and played her, and I beat it in 7 minutes, and I was like, okay, sure.
But so I was like, you know what, let me just try the hard one. I can't remember who I used for it, but I was like, let me just see what this one is that's already unlocked. Let me see what I can do. And then all of a sudden, the Bad Breath Marlboro character, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one at all, popped up. And it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. It was, and I actually had to go back and do it again because I had to get one of the skills for the enemy skill on there, and I had to assess it, and I didn't have that materia equipped because I wasn't prepared for it. So I went through and beat it twice. And then I unlocked all the battles, did all the solos, all the doubles, whatever I had to do. And then I got to the other one that's for Pride and Joy for the ultimate weapon kill. And Caleb, you had issues with Shiva on normal mode just to get the summon.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Oh, don't say that.
Oh my God.
Don't say that.
And here's the thing. I figured out my problem with Shiva. And because I had Cloud equipped with the what was that materia? The one where all his attacks are fire, right? So I had elemental one, so all his attacks were fire. Silly me, I didn't equip Aerith with a fire materia, so she was just doing normal damage. Her normal damage is ice, so it was useless. So she wasn't doing anything. That's why it was that much more difficult for me to beat her the first go around. So
I got her down to 75% health, and then she healed herself back up.
Yeah.
And I fought her for 5 minutes. And the worst part is that I after that I was like, I'll come back to you later. I'm not gonna worry about you. But you fight her, I think it's Leviathan, Fat Chocobo, and you fight Bahamut. And Bahamut, like at 25% health, pulls out Ifrit.
Oh goodness!
As a little assistance, and then you fight Pride and Joy. And from what I've read online, Bahamut is like the ultimate boss, and then Pride and Joy are like, I got this, whatever. Yeah. So I got wrecked. Decided to come back. I am now on the final boss of hard mode to get that trophy. I have gotten the final boss down to about 5% health, but usually I have one character left alive. And it's not a character that can do much damage, and that's it.
That sounds like my playing my first chapter of hard mode on Final Fantasy.
Yeah. So I have more to talk about that final boss because I have probably spent 3 hours now trying to defeat him. But he keeps the I don't want to say randomness of it, but some randomness to it that I wasn't quite expecting threw me off. There was one boss. Do you remember Caleb and Matt, the Barrett Aerith fight as you're leaving Shinra Building?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God. That boss on hard mode had me thrown for a loop. When I played it in normal mode, I just kind of mollywopped the mess out of it and made things happen. No. Not on hard mode. And like I honestly, I don't want to say like in a bragging manner haven't struggled, but I haven't really had that many times where I'm like, oh man, this is rough. The end game is rough. Like it is. The very first chapter 2 on hard mode, like learning it, like I said before, kind of took a little bit. And once I figured out the mechanics how to play through it, like I haven't really struggled. I haven't done a lot of the side missions on hard mode. So I'm not quite maxed out my weapons, but daggone near. But these last 3 or 4 bosses, man, it's something.
Struggle City.
Yeah. Now, Greg, I want to ask you about something.
Okay.
Because I'm intrigued by this. I think Caleb's also intrigued by this. In your world, you have a people's champion that is rising up in your house, don't you?
So let's go.
So I do. They didn't want me to talk about it, but I'm gonna share it. So because I think it's a pretty funny little anecdote. But my son has been playing Fortnite religiously to the point where it's annoying. Not just because he's constantly can I play, but then he puts a headset on and you hear him blah, 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 whatever, doing his little kid thing, playing Fortnite, screaming and talking to his buddies. So my daughter got tired of it. She got tired of listening to him constantly talk about Fortnite, and she decided she was going to play just to kill him in Fortnite.
That's hilarious.
And then that evolved with my wife's guidance into, let's make you an account. So they made a Twitter and an Instagram account specifically so that she can take screenshots of the kills she gets and then harass. I don't want to say harass, but pointed them out on Twitter as a fun little thing to do. And obviously, you can lose, you can win in Fortnite, like it's whatever. But she's taking screenshots of all the kills she gets in Fortnite. Named her accounts Just Here to Kill My Bro, which, I mean, it's really why she's here. And she's the champion of all sisters around the world, I guess. So,
it's amazing.
But,
it's amazing.
They're playing on Switch. I think it's really, really funny. And we gave her kind of, I don't know if you saw her tweets from last night, but we kind of told her, get sassy with it. Get on Twitter, and when you post your screenshots on Twitter, kind of get sassy with it. And when she tweeted tweeted a picture and put the gamer tag in there and was like, I think they broke their controller after this one, I was crying.
I saw that one and I was just like, this is next level gaming right here. This is what we're here for. This is the content I came for.
So I went out and I bought her a capture card. So we're gonna set her up on the computer so she can actually take short videos and start putting like 10, 15-second clips up on a more regular basis. But yeah, she's super excited about this, which is probably the most interested I've seen her in Fortnite ever. She was also super proud of herself. First night playing, she got a victory royale.
Heck yeah!
So she got me beat.
Yeah, listen, I don't think I've ever gotten a victory royale unless I was playing with James. I just stood there while he shot 190 people.
I remember one time I played for James and he never asked me to do that again.
I came in second the other night just hiding in a bush.
Man. Hey, sometimes that's all it takes. Yeah.
I didn't kill anybody, but I came in second.
Shout out to her. Shout out to her for standing up for herself and teaching her little bro, listen, I do this. I was here before you. No, I think that's super awesome. I think it just breeds that sibling rivalry in a healthy way, healthy habits. You guys as a family obviously are allowing them access to games and internet, and you're monitoring it in a healthy way. I think it's just a super cool story as a family. You guys are getting into the whole thing. Obviously, your wife is just playing Animal Crossing. And unless she's gone back to her categorizing and creating the Bulbapedia all over again of Pokemon. Which I honestly want her to print that in a nice little book and just send it to me. Because I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it.
So, but if you guys want to check her out, it's Just Here to Kill My Bro, and that's, let me see if I can remember this, JSTHR 2 Kill My Bro on Instagram and Twitter. So go check her out, give her a follow, like some of her funny little tweets she's got going on. So we'll see how it goes. But Caleb, you were talking, you had something to come back to on Aerith?
Yeah. It was the horseman, the guy on the chariot, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you know the enemy I'm talking about. Yeah. So the entire fight, I tried focusing on him with Cloud, died every single time. Tried to focus on him with Tifa, died every single time. And I just got so frustrated with the thing. I was like, you know what? I just put every single ice spell I could possibly find on Aerith, and I picked her strong. Well, I had which one? I picked the one staff that gives you all the elemental attacks. I have the proficiencies in the other one, so I literally just stood in the middle. I set the ward, so when you fire out an elemental attack, it does it twice. Yep. And then I summoned the familiar. And I stood in the center of the map. And every time he would summon his little icicle spears that would drop down, I would just run around in a circle, a very, very, very small circle around my ward. And I beat him in 5 minutes. It's the cheesiest, cheapest way to win that fight. And like the second I could summon Shiva, I'd summon Shiva. And again, that fight took me probably an hour trying to beat with Cloud and Tifa combined and like switching characters and playing tactically. And I was like, you know what, I'm done with this. So I just ran around in a circle and I beat him in like 5 minutes, which was, I felt cheesy and broken, but I was like, yeah, like again, I don't know if she's supposed to be that powerful. Like gameplay wise, again, she has no health, but I usually just stick her with one or she's my main healer. I usually don't use her for battles. Like I have one or two attack materia, and then the rest is all MP up, max MP, auto heal, auto cure, rise. Like she heals everybody. But
yeah, I mean, she's always been the healer. Like even back in the OG days, I think some of the fights are geared to teach you how to play with different characters. Because if you remember in that fight, you can't attack the wheels because they have like a barrier on them.
Exactly.
So every time you do a melee attack on them, it kind of shoots you back away and interrupts everything you're trying to do. You have to kind of catch him when he's down and grounded after he does his whole orbital thing to kind of stagger him. But yeah, there were definitely points where she felt OP'd, but she only felt OP'd because of the way you play her.
Exactly.
Like if you didn't drop that little circle thing that doubles your elemental attacks, like that's how I beat her solo boss. The 5 rounds in the Shinra VR was I just every time a match started, I give her first strike, so she's got her ATB gauge filled.
Mm-hmm.
Drop that thing, hit a spell, and at 9 times out of 10, that first enemy's dead. So yeah. So well, any other? I can't wait to hear your ideas on Final Fantasy.
So I think this. Only because we didn't really talk about this last week when we had Spencer on, Greg. But since Caleb's now in the end game, I think it's interesting to talk about. Game of the year? Question mark.
There's a question mark?
There's been 2 games this year.
I know.
There's been more than 2. There's been, you got Neo 2, MLB The Show. You got Doom Eternal, Animal Crossing's come out.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 3.
Honestly, I heard a lot of conversation for RE3 at the beginning of the year. January, about RE3 being Game of the Year. For me, personally, I still think I want to wait on Last of Us 2 and Ghost to see what happens with that. As much as I love Neo 2, Neo 2 is not winning Game of the Year. It might win Action Game of the Year. I doubt it. We'll see. I mean, but some games just got canceled recently, as opposed to pushed back or delayed. Am I correct on that, Greg?
I haven't seen any cancellations. I know there's been a lot of indefinite kind of postponement, but I haven't seen a cancellation. I know IGN put the 18 games that have disappeared list up, but that was all like Beyond Good and Evil 2, Skull and Bones, what else they put on there? Dead Island 2, like stuff that we've seen and heard, but nothing's been mentioned for years on. So I haven't heard any cancellations though.
Well, it'll be interesting. I hope, and again, what we're all hoping for is a return to some sort of normalcy, even though our new normal may not look like our old normal. We just want to be able to go back outside, hang out with our friends, maybe go to bars again. I'm not even a bar person. I just want to go to a bar to watch people. I really just want to watch drunk people again. I just want to see somebody fall because they can't walk in a straight line. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna sit in the corner drinking a ginger beer because it looks like a Moscow Mule. I'm gonna watch somebody fall. I'm gonna see. That's like the second thing I'm gonna do when I can go back outside. But in the gaming world, a lot of developers, even Microsoft, has come out and admitted how much more difficult it is working from home than working in an office space. You just don't have the same kind of speed and access to technology. Some people at home don't have that same access to internet quality they do in the office. So when we get back to normal, I want to see what games are still slated for release this year. And if those consoles get pushed back. Any chance the consoles get pushed back, you think?
So I don't think so. Kind of leads us into one of our topics of the day, the Sony PlayStation Bloomberg report that came out.
Mm-hmm.
So in that, pretty much the big things that came out of that report were they're going to have fewer consoles at launch for the PS5 than they did for the PS4.
Which is tough.
Yeah, I mean not too bad. PS4 had 7.5 million units available when it first launched. They're estimating 5 to 6 million for the PS5 at launch, and this is due to multiple different reasons. A lot of it's speculative, but part of it is the console is estimated to be between $5 and $550. So it is $150 more expensive than the prior console at launch. So that's part of it. So that way you're adequately having that kind of supply and demand available, because it is more expensive. The demand might not be as high, but if you reduce the supply, it should adjust adequately there. The other thing they're saying is that, again, this is where it kind of gets speculative, is parts are hard to manufacture right now with everything going on. So they might have a limited supply of said parts, and getting more will be harder to come by. So kind of the thought process on that is, because there are fewer parts, limit the amount of consoles you have available to adequately fuel those who truly want it on day one, and you don't have any issues. So any thoughts on that one, gentlemen? You guys, fewer consoles?
Fewer consoles. I think we've kind of talked about this already. Fewer consoles at release to be expected. How difficult? My few questions are: how difficult is it going to be to get one release day, release week, release month? 2, how long is the scarcity going to last? 3, how badly are we going to get hit over the head by scalpers?
That's
like my big thing. And 4, like, I guess in response to 3, if we as individual people, gamers, are thinking about this, are the big guys, Sony, Microsoft, thinking about, okay, we know we're going to have limited supply. Our suppliers such as Walmart, GameStop, Best Buy, going to put a restriction on one console per customer. Obviously, scalpers are going to scalp, and they're going to do whatever they have. They pay their buddies $100 to go stand in line and buy the console. Just, you give me $100, I'll stand in line. I've stood outside for $20 for some shoes before. So give me $100 to stand in line to buy a console, I'll take it. So I'm those 3 questions, and then I guess the last 5th question to round it out. What does that mean for year 1 of this new console life cycle?
I mean, so let's go questions one by one. What was your first one? Because I already forgot. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Limited consoles, we already kind of knew that. How hard is it going to be to get?
I think it's going to be just as hard as it was last generation. I think that price point might change a little bit, especially given our economy. It's still going to be, for those of us who are fortunate enough to be in a situation to be able to purchase that console, I don't think it'll be too terribly hard, but it won't be any different than any other console launch. Like, if you're not there day one to pre-order it, you probably won't be able to get one, to be honest. You'll spend the holiday season searching, hoping one will pop up somewhere. You right place, right time, you got one. Sweet. But I don't see any change in what we've ever seen before with new console launch. Kind of, and with the scalpers, because I do remember that question. Most places restrict one per household. I know at GameStop, like, as store leaders, we usually get the consoles, and we're not allowed to pre-order one if we're gonna get one. Like, if we already have one pre-ordered, and we are getting the console because some of the vendors are pretty nice to us and do give us a lot of free stuff. We can't have one pre-ordered specifically because we are taking away from a guest. So they communicate with us constantly. If you have one pre-ordered, you cancel it. And we've actually gotten phone calls from like DMs or higher ups than that to let us know you can't get this console. It's not yours. So I know on my side of things, what I see, it's fairly even, fairly well distributed. Um, but I can't speak for Best Buy, Walmart, Target. I don't know how they do things. Um, Amazon as well. So I don't know what their restrictions are going to look like.
Amazon's going to be tough because Amazon has a nasty habit, Amazon France, of leaking dates, putting up pre-orders, getting a ton of pre-order numbers in the front door, and then they show up at the publisher's front door, the publisher's front door, be like, yo, we have 700 pre-orders, and the publisher's like, you're getting 100,000. You have 700,000, I have 100,000, you got to cancel. And so now they're stuck between a hard place, and all of a sudden you get an email from Amazon, hey, sorry, you got to cancel your pre-order. We ain't got enough. So I personally hope to be at a store pre-ordering day one because I think that's just the best and safest way to get one. I would try to avoid scalpers. At that price point, do you think it's going to be profitable for scalpers to scalp? I think scalpers always scalp. Like you look how bad it was for something like Super Bowl tickets. Granted, that's a whole different topic, whole different genre, but like there were people buying Super Bowl tickets and selling them for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah, I mean, scalpers gonna scalp. That's just what they do. But the demand is part of it. So if there's, it's gonna sell out. But if the demand isn't that high because the economy is not in the greatest position, you're not gonna see very many scalpers. I mean, you at the same time you have people who purchase switches for $300 and they're selling them for $4, 5, 6, $700 for just the switch itself. So scalper is going to scalp. It's going to happen. Some profits better than no profit. I mean, even if you sell a $400, $550 console for $700, you still made $150. And how much work did you really put in?
Exactly. And then I think the scalper's question was tied to something else, which you already addressed. We'll get into question 4 and 5 a little bit. I think you touched on it, but like, how does everything we just talked about, limited availability, ease of access to get it, scalpers scalping, just doing what they do, how does that affect year one console lifecycle? What does that look like? Both companies have been very aggressive at saying, hey, you don't have to upgrade day one. We would love you to, but this is like even Uncle Phil has said, hey, this upgrade is for the hardcore Xbox guy. I think they've kind of stepped back away from that sentiment, but like when they first started talking about Series X, they were like, yeah, this is for the guys who are going to get this day one are the hardcore Xbox people. They stepped back from that sentiment because I think Aunt Gladys and Mary Jane they're shopping for Christmas presents. If they walk into Walmart and they see hardcore Xbox gamer people only, they're not going to buy it for little Johnny who just wants an Xbox. They're going to buy the E or the S or whatever Xbox. They just know Xbox. That's all they know. You've seen these customers. You know these customers very well. My son wants an Xbox. Which one should I buy? And then you have to ask the question of how old is your son and what games do they play? And then they look at you like an alien. So
yeah, I mean, I think that the first year of sales, I mean, first off, the people who are going to buy it day one, and usually those who buy it that first holiday season are the hardcore fans, the hardcore people. It's then used by those people to show off to the casual friends, hey, look what this is, look what it does, look at the difference, look what's happened. Like you show them all this cool stuff and they're like, okay, cool, let me go get one. It's no different than you buy a t-shirt that says Tommy Hilfiger on it. Everybody's like, oh, that's a dope t-shirt. I bet it's made by Tommy Hilfiger. I'm gonna go look at it and get one. Like it's the same kind of mindset you're using. you're using marketing of the guerrilla marketing more or less by people to show off this console for those who are more casual. But as far as the first year sales, I think it all comes down to games. Consoles are great and all, but consoles don't do anything without games. So if the Xbox isn't going to have exclusive games for an entire year, your first year of Xbox Series X is going to be predominantly hardcore Xbox fans. That's just nature of the beast. Your PlayStation, if they actually have these exclusive games on there, you're going to get more casual fans invested into it because they want to play the cool new trailer game for Horizon Zero Dawn 2, Spider-Man 2, for God of War 2, or whatever these titles might be called. They see these trailers at Super Bowl ads. They see them at, the NBA All-Star game. They see them all the time, but they can't play them on their current one, and that's what's going to get people invested into it. Consoles are cool. Games is what makes it, and that's actually where my biggest concern is with this. Given all of this stay-at-home order that we're currently under with COVID-19, a lot of things are going to get delayed that haven't been delayed yet because they haven't even been dated. So, I mean, you can't do mocap right now. Voice work is probably going to take a backseat. And then when we do open back up, all those places, those appointments they had set up to do the mocap, to do the voice work, are then going to be inundated with new appointments, and now you have to wait until you can schedule to get that stuff done. So it's gonna have a long term effect on all this.
For sure. I'm in total agreement with you. Can't drive a Ferrari if it ain't got no gas. And the only reason I say that is because I watched a video of somebody running out of gas on the LA freeway on the way to a Lakers game. And it was hilarious.
Probably had courtside seats too.
Oh yeah, they did. Oh yeah, 100% they did.
So, what are your thoughts on? You've been kind of quiet through those, Matt. What are your?
I honestly, because we talked about this a couple weeks ago now, the potential of them pushing it back, and if not, what would that look like? And especially seeing the Bloomberg report coming out. Bloomberg?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. With that supposed price point. I know it's the whole science of supply and demand, and then creating this additional barrier for people to attain so that those who really want it can get it. But like you said, it comes down to what games are available is really going to be the appeal for it. It's like who people want to show off this console. A lot of times that's what it ends up being. I would still try for it. Whether that's actually going to be possible coming up, we'll see. But hoping, fingers crossed.
Yep. So, kind of leaping off that, let's talk Xbox. Ricky will like this because Ricky hates that we don't ever talk about Xbox. So we're gonna give Xbox a voice today, Ricky, and you might love this voice. So, Xbox Series X logo came out this week. Man, is it a doozy. So it's a very simple design. It looks like nobody really thought about this design. And honestly, my first impression of it was it looks like a removable tattoo, a temporary tattoo.
Wow, that's the best description I've heard yet. It's like, just there.
I could see me being at Price Chopper and my kid being like, "Hey, can I have 2 quarters?" And yeah, sure. And he comes out with that little cardboard flip thing that opens up, and boom, he's got an Xbox Series X logo tattoo to put on.
Reminds me of when Microsoft first switched to Office 2013, and they changed the logo for Microsoft Word or an Excel, and it has that X that resembles Excel.
Not great.
I don't know if you guys can see that. This is the IGN article where they showed off Series X.
It's of all the times and the things that Xbox had done, like their logo is kind of like iconic. It doesn't even have that arch, that kind of roundedness to it that they typically have on their console.
And like part of me was like, okay, I can get it. It's a new console generation. You want to start fresh. You want something new. But this Captain, El Capitan, buddy, guy, friend, this is not it. This is not at all. It's just there's nothing appealing about it.
What happens if they have a different series? So they just replace the letter with the same kind of stenciled letter look to it? Because that's essentially what it is. Somebody took a stencil, put it down, colored it black for an X, and then wrote series vertically next to it. And I was like, oh man, I'm getting paid millions for this.
Yeah, someone got paid to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the PlayStation 5 logo, it wasn't like it reinvented the wheel either. They just changed the 4 to a 5 using the same font.
Yeah.
But it kept itself going as like this is the next one. Whereas this, like, I just
So Matt, you are our creative director over at White Noise Studios. You have a degree in marketing for what it's worth.
You're about to put me on the spot, aren't you?
Oh yeah, come on. I'm about to say some words right now. Golden ratio, transparent background, opacity. I know some of these words. I know how to click on my computer and get access to Photoshop. Anything more than that, I am in deep waters, surrounded by sharks. Quick, and I can't even swim. So you read the picture I painted tells you I'm in trouble. From your design background, though, because you not only have you created logos for me, for my insurance business, you created logos for other people. You're in photography. You understand what it is, the difficulty in creating something simple. Because I think there's a big misconception out there that it's more complex to create a complicated logo. Complicated logos are complex, yes, but there's a degree of difficulty in creating something that's both appealing yet simple. That's almost more difficult. So I've been told. I don't know, but Balenciaga went from a 32-point font to a 12-point font that looks like Comic Sans, and they're Balenciaga. So can you speak to the design mindset of creating something simple and what maybe they could have done to possibly do better?
I will attempt. I am by no means an expert on this, but from my experience.
Stop lying if you are.
Hey, we're talking about video games here. Now you got me talking about branding and stuff like this and marketing for.
Hey, you said you weren't a gamer.
Hold on, I have a fork somewhere in my words.
Fired.
And yes, there's a lot of power in just like being simplistic and keeping on brand with what you've defined as we've seen with PlayStation 5. Obviously, we joked that someone got paid to change the number to a 5 and presented it to everyone. But that was very on brand for them. That's what PlayStation's known for. And like Greg said, they didn't have to reinvent the wheel. Even with Xbox, if you're looking back at the word mark that they started, just having it like super simple and still having the green now looking like at Series X. Yes, I know they wanted to go for something, an attempt to look a bit more futuristic. It almost, to me, and I'm not by any means attached to Xbox, so I don't know how true Xbox fans feels. To me, it feels like not necessarily they're losing a part of like who they were. Like if you're thinking Xbox 360, because I could already think of green, like the circle with the green X in it. You know what I'm talking about, with like the silver 3D model looking to it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to think of like Series X now, it may look sleek. It may look like someone took a stencil and put chalk on the sidewalk or something like that. But I don't know. There's a lot of directions they could have gone with it. To me, I'm not a super huge fan of it. But I think it still would have been cool to keep some of those elements. And maybe this is just the base and they'll experiment with it. They'll get their Mountain Dew green in there, or whatever they want to do. But I think for right now...
That was my big thing. It's not even green. Granted, the console hasn't been green in years. since OG Xbox console hasn't been green. It's had some sort of green in it.
Well, let's
But
talk
the
about this for a
logo,
second because
the logo's always had some sort of green in it. And this
but this
doesn't.
is just filing. Do we have any other records of like what they submitted for their logo filing for the other game systems?
I just sent across. I don't know about filing, but I just sent across the evolution of the Xbox logos from 2001 through 13.
Mm-hmm. And even with that, because honestly, they could file with that and they can still change the color. So they use, because a lot of times what will happen is companies will submit it in base black. They may have to like identify what their colors are, but their initial filing doesn't necessarily have to be within those colors. But if I'm wrong with that, someone on the internet, you can correct me, tweet at me at Matt_Goo2. So there's still room for them to throw that Mountain Dew green on there, whatever their actually official Xbox color is. But it would still be nice to see that.
Greg, your thoughts? You've given your thoughts. Any more expounding upon it?
I mean,
From a gaming perspective, I guess.
I guess gaming wise, I mean, it is what it is. It's just that logo. I mean, what I sent you guys has been on their console, that kind of curved X since 2005. I mean, it's the center button on the controller. It's the power button now on the Xbox One X and all the.
I almost
Xbox
forgot that was a center button.
Yeah. So, like, I guess to me, my mindset is you've had the same thing and you have done what Sony hasn't done, which is just slightly evolve your logo over time. Whereas if you look at PlayStation's logos, they've completely changed from every console except for the 4 to 5 generation. I mean, PS3 was a Spider-Man font.
Right.
OG PlayStation was that blue, red, green, P over S kind of shadowed look to it. So they've always changed their consoles, and here you are completely changing up what your logo looks like. It's not that big of a factor, but it's iconic at this point. Like when you see that rounded X, you instantly think of PlayStation. Or not PlayStation, Sony, Microsoft. God, if I could talk right now. You think of Microsoft, you think of the Xbox. Looking at the Xbox One now, like I'm looking at my two consoles, my PS4 Pro has PS4 etched into the top right-hand corner of the disk drive. The Xbox has that circle with the X on it. Is that going to change? Are we not going to have that logo anymore? Like that's my one concern is I like that Xbox logo that they've changed, they have evolved. I like it. I don't like this. I don't understand where this can be incorporated on the console to be like this is what it is.
It almost feels like it's something that would go on like a stamp on official paperwork as opposed to something that would be on the console itself.
100%.
But hey, maybe they're going to throw us a curveball and they'll still keep that heritage running.
Well, I hope so, because like I said, I really like that logo. Kind of go with X, unless you got anything, Caleb. Let's kind of go with that. I don't know where I saw this. I know I saw this in last week. It was a rumored leak report that Microsoft was going to have their event shortly revealing their console. And it kind of came out that the Lockhart was going to be announced then. And if you guys remember, Lockhart was the code name for their rumored less powerful console for this next generation. The rumors that I read on this were that it's going to have 4 teraflops and it's going to not have some of the features that will be implemented in the next generation. And my first thought process went, it won't have ray tracing, it won't have 8K capabilities, probably won't have a disk drive, just to make it cheaper and cut costs on there. But the thing I noticed most was if it has 4 teraflops, it is less powerful by 2 teraflops, because that's how math works, in the Xbox One X, their current strong console. Why would you do this?
Is there a supposed price point for that, or is that just rumors that are on the internet right now?
Just rumors that I've come across the internet. I haven't seen anything on price point either of the consoles. But Xbox Series X or Xbox One X has been usually about $300. When it originally came out, it was at $5.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of, and that's usually it's on sale for that. Normally it's about $400 right now. So kind of going with that, if your Xbox One X of the current generation is $300, and you're looking to launch a new console that has two different models, one is less powerful than what you currently have. What's the price point of that one going to look like? Is this just a souped up current gen console to appease people for the first year or two when there's no quote unquote exclusives?
That was my thinking, in that this will now become the lower price point entry level console. Um, and I think it stays at that 300 price point, and then the previous generation takes a $50 price cut.
So I have a question, because hearing this, it feels like a band-aid on a knife wound, a really deep knife wound.
I was gonna say a gunshot wound, but go ahead.
Yeah, it fits. I think that's a better analogy, because you, depending on how big the band-aid is. But who is that for? Like, that particular console?
It's for Karen. Karen is going shopping for her son. She just wants an Xbox.
Listen, man, I don't know if you've seen, but apparently Karen is a racist word right now.
Well, Karen
I'm
can
saying
go.
it sarcastically.
It's for Karen. Karen is gonna go into a store and say she wants an Xbox,
But
and then
here,
you're gonna
Caleb,
try and explain to her what an Xbox is, and that there's different kinds of Xbox, and she's gonna say, "I want the new Xbox," and then you're gonna show her a $500 price point and a $300 price point, and Karen is gonna buy the one at the 300 price point.
until she takes it to her kid, and her kid's like, "Nah, I don't want this."
And then she's going to ask to talk to the manager. I mean, I guess, like, is this the iPhone SE?
100%.
Like that's all this is. It's like you want that new hotness, but you can't afford the top end at 11. Let's get you the SE. And I
Not for nothing, the SE is one of the highest selling phones in Apple's portfolio. It sells because A, it's a new iPhone, and B, it's cheap. So maybe they're following. It's cheaper. Yeah, it's cheaper.
Well, I mean, we're looking at $1,200 and what, $600 for the SEs?
Actually,
300.
$450.
Yeah, so about a third of the price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So people are gonna go for that. And again, I think this is for the entry level people, the people who don't play that many games. This is kind of their entertainment box. They're never gonna get on TV and do the sports TV, sports thing ever again. Hopefully they don't. But this is for those people that maybe they have one or two games this is the guy who plays Madden and Call of Duty all year long. They don't necessarily want the hottest, fastest game. They just want to be able to play with their boys, and their girlfriend or their partner or whoever uses it to watch Netflix and Hulu and Funimation. So instead of paying for the gaming experience, you want the new Xbox to still play with your boys or your girls, and this is $300 cheaper, $200 to $300 cheaper. What are you gonna do? Again, if the economy comes out to a state as bad as people are claiming it is, some people are saying we're not only just headed for a recession, we're headed for a depression. Country hasn't had one of those in 50 something plus years. Makes sense, right? I mean, I'm trying to think with a business mindset here. I'm thinking it makes sense there. As a consumer, I'm not touching this thing with the 10-foot pole. You can pay me to buy this. Why would I buy this?
I'm just sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Greg.
No, go ahead.
But again, I'm just thinking, like, yes, and obviously with phones, giving the SE comparison, I think that's a good comparison. And a lot of people are getting iPhones, even just the new one that they released last week. It's literally an 8 with updated specs at a $400 price point, which is amazing. The thing with Xbox is, how many people are going to get this? Yes, they get the new hotness. Yes, it's at a lower price point, but they get it. And depending on what features aren't going to be available on this one versus the top shelf Xbox, how many people are just going to return it and try to get the top shelf one?
Right, once it's open, sorry for you. I guess my thing with it is with a phone, you can cut things out of it. Like you don't have to have the top of the line camera. You don't have to have a 4K screen or whatever it is they put on them now. You don't have to have some of the little nitty gritty things that can make it a little bit cheaper, but it still works to call people, to text people, to download apps, look at Facebook, internet, whatever the case may be. But with a console, like the entire purpose is to play games. Like, and as Caleb kind of led up to, when you launch one console with two different SKUs, you create a Nintendo level of confusion. Nothing is worse than trying to sell somebody a new Nintendo 3DS. Well, which one is it? I want the new one. Well, this is the new one, but is this the new one? Yes, it's the new one. Well, what about this 3DS? That's not the new one. And then you try to sell them a used one, and you want to talk about some confusions. Oh, Malanta. So I hope this is just rumor. I hope it's not real. I would not be surprised if it was based off the logo we saw. I don't think the economy has an effect on the console itself, because you got to remember the economy plummeting is only a month and a half, 2 months now that we've been watching this, whereas the console was in development a year ago. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with that. I do want to talk about another console that is coming out this year, I guess.
You mean the Soldier console too?
At least Soldier was trying. The Intellivision Amico. So I stumbled across this because the Cyberpunk 2077 Xbox console and hard drive was announced and shown off. It's sharp. It looks good. It's weird it's coming out 3 months before the game releases, but hey, whatever. You do what you do.
Is this one of those things where the game is installed on the system and you can't unlock it until the game is released, or they're just giving you a branded console?
I think it's no different than like the Nintendo style, where they're like, here's a console a week before the game comes out, but you don't have a game. Ha ha ha.
That's dumb.
It's one of those, yeah.
Oh, that's dumb.
So people will buy it. Comes out June 6th. But so it got announced, and I decided to look in my system and at work, and because I'm sitting there and have quite a lot to do as I'm lying. But you know, I'm like, let's see, what's the price point going to be? Is it in our system already? Let me look. And I'm looking at upcoming consoles, and I see in the Amico. I'm like, what is this Amico? And I look on our webpage. We don't have it on the webpage yet because it just hit our system. So I looked on the interwebs. And I pulled up the Intellivision Amico console, and wow, was I amazed!
Hold on. I'm going to show the people.
Show the people this Amico.
I don't know if you guys can see that.
Those are the controllers.
Those are the controllers?
Those are iPods.
It's a Zune. It's a Microsoft Zune. Is essentially what that thing is.
That's
because that wheel, that circle is a wheel that you can rotate, and it looks, I would assume it clicks. I don't understand why it wouldn't, because you want to have that haptic feedback with a click. But it plays, it looks like an Ouya, the games on it. They're all downloadable games. They're not big AAA titles that I could see that were on the webpage there when the video they showed off. They were all very much so indie titles, which is cool because it gives them a platform. I don't know who's going to buy this platform to play it on, but you can also sync up your cell phone as additional controllers.
For what?
To play whatever games.
And here's my thing. You sync up your cell phone as an additional controller. Qualcomm is a chip company that makes the chipsets for different company phones. Is it cheating if someone has the newest iPhone and you have an Android Galaxy 4?
Look, I can't answer these questions. I just thought this was absolutely comical. I mean, this is right up there with the Atari releasing 3 different versions of their console.
You can see it in all its glory,
yeah,
right there.
That's the base. That's what it charges on and connects to the TV to, and you can get it in wood grain color.
A wood grain color.
Somebody just wanted to spend money. Who is this for?
The guy who had the Intellivision way back in 1978 or whatever it was.
Is that person still alive?
I mean, they could be. When was your dad born?
I mean, like, I guess they're still alive, but like, are they still alive and looking for an Intellivision?
I mean, it's 42 years ago.
Okay, listen, got it. God is dead, Matt's dad, and my dad is the same age. If I put an Intellivision in front of them, they're gonna not care.
Oh yeah. I don't think anybody's gonna care. This is for that high-end collector who's like, look at my wall of consoles.
I struggle calling it a console. It's a device that plays some kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather have an Ouya than have that.
Ooh.
At least the Ouya can play games.
You can play games on this one. I mean, you can't play good games. It says volumes, I think, when the very first game they show off on that video for their games is an underwater game. And we all know how underwater levels work in video games. They're all bad. Like every single one of them.
That's tough.
Yeah, you can't name one underwater level where you're like, I loved this level. They all suck.
That's facts.
Yeah. So, but that's it. Go check out the Intellivision Amico. Please tweet at us, comment at us, do something. Let me know what you think of this console, because I want to know if there's somebody out there who's like, oh, this is hot. This is I'm not getting new J's. I'm getting an Intellivision Amico. Like this is what I need.
Yes. Please let us know, because I'm intrigued as well.
If there's a single person within my circle of influence who actually wants to buy this and own it to actually play it, I want to have a conversation with you and check in with you and see how you do it.
Honestly, no, just invite us. I want to check it out.
I'm with Matt. Let me know when you get it. I'm going to come over to your house day one and play this thing, because I want to see that.
As soon as quarantine's over.
So let's keep that console mentality going. Let's talk Nintendo and them trying to boost Switches right now. Like, if you go out in the world, you cannot find a Switch of any variety for the most part.
Or Joy-Cons.
Anywhere. Or Joy-Cons, yeah. You can't find it. They're not anywhere to be seen. There's been issues we've talked about in the past about how I'm pretty sure they transferred manufacturing from China to Vietnam right before the COVID situation hit, and that kind of put a stop and delay on everything. It was rumored that you'd start to see them later in the month of April, which is about where we're at now, back into the wild, but we still haven't seen them. Earlier this week, Nintendo, and this is after, by the way, Nintendo had a record-breaking month in March for Switch sales. So Nintendo put out a report, IGN Post, that talked about it, about how they are attempting to increase and boost their Switch sales to better react and supply their consumers. Have you guys seen this?
No.
Well, outside of like what you've shared with us, I haven't seen much about it.
So I'm pretty sure we shared it. I gotta find it again. I lost it. Sorry, guys. But have you guys gone looking for Switches?
I've asked you. I've had a couple of friends actually, that have been intrigued in Switches. One, because there's absolutely nowhere to go and they want to play Animal Crossing. Actually, I think that's the exact case for any friend that I've heard that wants to get a Switch, is they want to play Animal Crossing.
I have ventured forth into the wilderness and happened to look for a Switch while doing other things. Like, I was at Record Center picking up PC parts. Asked them if they had console section. They had the equivalent of a wardrobe. It's like the only, because in this huge store where they have literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, possibly even thousands of computer parts, they have one aisle for console gaming and all their consoles are in a cabinet, and that's it. I was like, ooh, wow.
So I got the article here. Let's see. Nintendo plans to produce 10% more units of the Switch series in 2020, having produced 20 million consoles in 2019. So, like, right there, all that tells me is, sorry, Xbox, you're number 3. Like,
right.
Step down. But that's a huge number. So that's a whole lot of consoles. What's that? 22 million, something like that.
Yeah.
Part suppliers have reportedly received orders of up to 50% larger than expected output from Nintendo. And Nintendo is reportedly ordering from a wider range of companies to avoid any potential bottlenecks. So Nintendo's going out there and doing everything they can to make sure they get enough of these units out there. However, there are people, representatives who are saying we're doing all we can. We can't guarantee a number we're going to put out this year. However, see an increase in consoles available between the, during the April-June quarter. So the first fiscal quarter of Nintendo, pretty much. So I'll be interested to see when these arrive, what they look like. Well, I mean, obviously we know what they look like, but what the quantities look like that'll be available. Everybody's trying to get Animal Crossing, so that'll be the biggest sale that we will see.
Right. As if it wasn't already.
Yeah. And I mean, kind of with that, we got the MPD numbers for the month of March. Not really surprising. Animal Crossing is number 1. Yeah. And my understanding is it has now surpassed the live sales of any other Animal Crossing game.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's a huge number of sales in that one. Number 2, again, not really surprising, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Building off of the Call of Duty 2 remake announcement, the Warzone, the multiple seasons they've been having.
Season 3, yeah.
Yep. So that's done very well. MLB The Show's number 3. So, all those
again,
baseball fans.
A little shocking, but not surprised because this happens every year.
I mean, considering that they're not getting any baseball, I'm not.
Yeah. I think what's most impressive is 2 of the titles in the top 3 are locked to one console. They're exclusives. So that speaks, I think, volumes to the player base on those consoles. How many of them are really there to play those games? Number 4 is Resident Evil 3. And number 5 is 2K20, NBA 2K20. Number 6 is Doom Eternal.
Really? Actually, no, that doesn't surprise me either.
It was on sale.
And Jordan,
there's no playoffs.
I'm sure the Last Chance Michael Jordan documentary is contributing heavily to the amount of people buying 2K.
Yeah,
also
the vacuum of basketball.
Yes, and people are out here buying Jordan shoes on StockX because they're watching Michael Jordan play basketball.
Number 6 is Doom Eternal, which came out the same day as Animal Crossing. Number 7 is Persona 5 Royale. Or Royal, however you want to pronounce. I'm so confused by that word nowadays in video games. I don't know.
It is Royale. I am trying to save you from being crucified because Persona fans are almost as bad as K-pop fans.
Spencer will let me know. He'll correct me.
Wait, is it only Royale if it's E at the end?
No, that's Royale E. Number 8 is GTA 5. That thing doesn't go away. Number 9.
I saw that and was like, how is this game still alive?
It doesn't die because they keep putting out patches. Number 9 is Borderlands 3. Number 10 is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So those are the top 10 selling games for the month of March.
The month of March 2020. Greg, what year did Grand Theft Auto 5 come out?
Came out September 17th of 2013.
2013? Why is the game still in the top 10 in 2020? We're in a quarantine. You can play Mass Effect for all we're doing. Why are people still doing this? Someone needs to study this phenomenon. The Stanford Gaming Academy, where you can go get a degree in video game technology, needs to study this. This is a phenomenon unlike anything ever.
it's the I can't. I'm the only I'm at a loss for words as I'm stumbling here. The only thing I can think of is these are all the same people who bought the game, played it at launch, traded it in, and they have then since bought that game 15 times to support this. Because I'm pretty sure it's pushing global units of one per person almost. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh wow.
That's hilarious.
That might be an exaggeration of the true number sales, but it's as often as this is in top 10. Can't be surprised by it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I just want to clarify this. NPD is only new sales, correct?
Only new sales in North America.
Mm.
Oh, goodness.
Also, I just want to shout out, what was it, Mario Kart 8 Super Deluxe?
Number 10.
At the bottom, number 10.
I just want to correct you so you're not crucified, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe fans. There is no super in it. I'm
sorry.
here for you, sir. I'm here for
the Super Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Okay. Now you're being that old man when you're like, go to the Quick Trip.
I am both offended and appalled. And that is also very accurate.
And then rounding out at top 20 was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, which only came out digitally at the very end of last month, if I'm not mistaken. There's other games in there between, nothing too meh. I mean, it's what it is. So, but do you guys expect to see any changes on these games for the month of April?
I'm interested to see where Final Fantasy VII Remake falls.
3.5 million units sold in 3 days. Man, let me tell you what, it's worth it.
Yeah, that was really good. That was a really good number to see. I'm very happy because that says there's a ton of nostalgia for this game. There's a bunch of people who wanted to play this based on they played it in the past and they want to experience it again. But that means there's a whole lot of new people who have heard all the old people talking about this game. Like, all right, cool. What is all this nonsense about? And I love that our podcast represents the little triangle, the upside down triangle we got going on represents the kind of like the life cycle for like the gamers. Matt being over here, never played the original. I've dabbled in the original, and you are, as we call you, the original sensei. So
does that make you Master Splinter?
Oh man, don't do that. I'm a giant rat with a hunchback now.
Depending on which version you go with.
Oh no, I'm not gonna say that on the podcast. I'll say it after the podcast ends. I'm not gonna do that on air. All right, moving on.
So you guys want to talk about a game called Valorant or whatever?
Valorant.
I know nothing about this one.
Valorant, brought to you by the guys who made all the games that all the people play. Valorant is made by Riot Games. If you don't know Riot Games, they made a little game called League of Legends, and they're now venturing into the world of pew shooters. The thing about Valorant is it's currently in beta, so if you're not in beta, sorry, you suck. You can't get in. Apparently,
like you, Caleb.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, I'm in that category because I have tried multiple times. I've tried to be Riot Games Insider because apparently I've had League of Legends for 7 years. I didn't know it was on my computer that long. It might as well have been a virus for all I've known. I tried getting in as a beta tester. Nope. I tried getting in through the media pass. Nope, can't get it. They don't want me anywhere in that game. But from what I've seen, based on footage, streams, and my friends who have played the game is some hot combination of Overwatch, Call of Duty, and here's the big one, CSGO. The aiming is almost exactly like CSGO. There's an economy that is almost exactly like CSGO. Where the variety comes in, I guess Call of Duty is a less accurate representation. A more accurate representation would be like Rainbow Six Siege because the game modes in it resemble Siege. You pick your hero, and the other team picks their heroes, and then you go into a round, you go into a match. You play a certain round. In this game, I'm of the opinion, and based on what I've seen, pretty strong in that opinion, that this game was designed to be in esports. we've gone out. I think this isn't one of those things that people buy and play and then it becomes an esport. This game was designed to be an esport. I guarantee you there will be a Valorant championship cup, a Valorant cup, or Valorant whatever within a year. Like I can guarantee you that it will be happening. Some 17-year-old is going to win a stupid amount of money off the Valorant Grand Prix. By this time next year, we'll be having a conversation about a 17-year-old, probably a 14-year-old, honestly, at this point, because in California, they've now made it legal for 14-year-olds to enter into competition as long as their parents approve.
Can a 9-year-old enter?
I think the youngest age is 12, to be honest.
Okay.
I love how nonchalant you were about that.
I listen. Start training her now. Because
I gotta make money off my kid somehow. Okay.
The Fortnite kid was 12 and he won $1 million. So it's just getting wild out here. But again, if you can think of any combination of those few games, Overwatch, Rainbow Six Siege, CS:GO. That's what you need to know for Valorant. The heroes have abilities that can be used in unique ways. Do I want to play this? I'll be very honest with you. No, I have very little interest in playing this. When it does launch to the public and everyone can play it, I want to play it just to see if I enjoy it.
So there's one thing I know about this game, Caleb, and I need you to play it now for us. Apparently, if you can find any hacks or glitches in the game right now and report them, they will pay you up to $100,000.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to get in that pass right now. Let's
like that's the only thing I've seen of this game. Like I've heard of Valorant here and there, but I saw that IGN article. Like, should I be playing this right now? And then I quickly realized I never find glitches. Like, I never find any way to hack a game. I'm just
and here's the thing: their beta testers have been furloughed or can't come into the office and can't work. So we are beta testing this game for them. This is unabashed public beta testing. They're paying you to find glitches. You know what you are? You are an in-house beta tester.
But let's think about it. Games have done much less and still made people work as beta testers.
100%.
All I can think of was Grandma's Boy.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, I want to play Valorant when it's released to the public, when there are... I'm going to say this word, and it's going to be what it is. Normal people playing the games, because the guys and girls that I've been watching playing it aren't normal. These are high skill level players. I watched Alfredo Diaz have a 42-win game in which he came down from 5-0. I didn't even know you could come down from 5-0. I thought when it was 5-0, you got home, you went home. 42 kills later, my man won. Not only did they win the match, they won the game. If I get in the lobby with those people, I'm not winning.
If I get in the lobby with those people, I get kicked out.
Yeah, I don't need this kind of pressure in my life. My life is good right now. I'm okay. Got ice cream and quiche in the fridge. I'm doing okay with my life right now. I don't need that kind of pressure. So once the normal people like me and Matt and Greg can play, we'll hop on, we'll have fun with it. I'm sure it's one of those games. Probably not. It is a PC only game, so I'm sure. Okay, so I will be on there. I'm sure I'll find a few buddies to play with. But other than that, it's not one of those games that crossed my top 10 list, especially for the year of 2020, especially with all the games that are getting pushed back, especially with all the surprises that were supposed to happen, that we are now just thinking are in limbo. So if it comes out, it pops up on my radar, I'll play it. Am I going to become a Valorant guy? I doubt it. I played CSGO for a week, and that was during the free beta week. So,
Well, gentlemen, that hits everything that I had for topics, unless there's anything y'all want to talk about.
All I'm going to say is I will continue streaming Road to Platinum on Twitch. I think it's just Matt_U2. I don't even, it's weird. Twitch is so foreign to me because this is just a new realm I'm stepping into. See what I do for you guys? See what this podcast has made me become?
Yeah, you're a
now-
gamer and a streamer, Matt.
I
like
am
that.
now streaming, no cam, but you'll just hear my voice get pissed off and frustrated as I'm fighting some of these battles.
I would love to see you on camera getting pissed off in some of these fights. Speaking of which, have you gone back through and kind of played with your materia a little bit?
No. So after I beat what's his name from chapter 1, I was just like, all right, that's it. I think I'm just gonna try to level him up because I know once you get to those secret bosses, you'll need to have at least multiple of those materia, so one for like each of your party members. So I think that's just what I'm gonna do for now.
I highly recommend utilizing the elemental materials, especially in chapter 2, elemental fire.
Oh yes, for sure. That is already on my brain.
Yep.
Can you buy those from Chadley, or where do you get those?
You can only get 2 of those throughout the entire game, and even when you play back through in hard mode, you can't get those again.
So, also, real quick, whenever you guys went back to Don Corneo's house, in what would that have been? Chapter 10, 14?
Chapter 9. The second time?
Yeah, the second
14,
time.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever go back down to the dungeon or to the basement?
I think I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just remember the second time I played through it, I realized there's someone down there.
Yeah, at the door that you don't know who it is. Help!
Yes.
Let me out! Yeah. That was pretty good. I was like, who is this? Can I figure it out? Can I open the door? No. Sure can't. Caleb,
that's it.
Anything else?
No, I'm gonna go ahead and do my best to beat this last boss. We're gonna have a conversation about it. And I'm gonna play some XCOM. In the meantime, I think I'm gonna go eat some more of that quiche.
Man, I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on Final Fantasy VII after you've all said and done. Let me know.
Based on what you guys are saying and using context clues, I think I have another boss to fight after the boss that I'm on.
You do.
Okay.
You do. Matt, who did you get for your Chapter 14 cutscene at the very beginning? At Eris House?
Both times I did, I got Tifa.
Okay.
I did another playthrough on easy before I started over on. I say another playthrough. I went and I did chapter 2 again on easy because I was going to try to get the Aerith scene, but then I was like, nah, screw this. I'm just going to go to hard and do this.
When you did that for the final fight, what was your character loadout? Do you remember your 3 characters you had?
Oh yeah. It was Tifa, Barrett, Aerith.
You mean it was Tifa Barrett? Because you can only get 3 characters.
Well, yeah, I mean, like they showed up left by proxy.
Yeah, so that's been my issue with that final fight is, because it's in stages. You fight it solo, and then they add a character, and they add a character. So I jumped on the internet webs and found this guy who's like, "Oh, watch me stomp Sephiroth on hard mode real quick." Dang it, I slipped it. My bad, Caleb.
I kind of figured he'd pop up.
So I went back through and I fought him, and spoilers for anybody listening, I apologize, just ruined that for you. You start off as Cloud, and I was like, okay, I'll gear out Aerith, because in the video and when I had it the first time, that's who came out. And then I'll gear out Tifa, because that's who also came out. And then Tifa came out first. And I was like, okay, I'll manage with this. I'll figure it out. We'll make this happen. And then Barrett came out third.
Oh,
and
do you think I had anything to do with the whole Whispers thing?
I think it's the cutscene. I think it's that chapter 14 scene has a huge impact on who you have in your party. I don't know how exactly, but I think that has a pretty substantial impact on it. But yeah, it's been try, and every time I get just right there, and it's outside of my grasp, and it's just starting to piss me off.
I think I saw a YouTube video of someone actually got Aerith and then Barrett.
Yeah, I think there's all kinds of different layouts. I don't know how it's planned or what their RNG is on that one, but I will say, and I've learned in the Sephiroth fight, if you are blocking in Punisher mode, you will automatically counter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I know this, but how did y'all not do this the entire game? I'm just like, I've been doing this the whole game. You guys haven't been doing this the whole game?
I just kind of went out swinging. I don't use Punisher mode.
Punisher mode is how you play the game, guys.
No, Punisher is like, but I didn't block. I didn't always use Punisher mode.
That was like the first thing I did was like.
I just don't like how Punisher mode moves.
That's so slow, and that's
the thing is you got to switch to operator mode to get to the enemy, right? And then you switch into Punisher mode and you block. Or you can switch into Punisher mode from the beginning, because that's what I do. As soon as the fight starts, I immediately go into Punisher mode. I let them attack and I counter. And then you stay in Punisher mode and then you just beat the brakes off of them.
See, some of the fights that like boss fights, I never went. I would go into Punisher mode at select times, so I had that mobility.
Gotcha.
And a lot of the boss fights, there wasn't a lot of melee one-on-one attacking, so there wasn't really the need to. I don't want to say block, but to try and figure out how to parry or counterattack somebody. But in the Sephiroth fight, I'm sitting there, I'm blocking. I'm like, I wonder, and I put it in Punisher mode while blocking. You can do that. I've figured this out, and instantly he starts attacking. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? this is a thing. So I've played through the game twice, and I just figured this out.
You just know. I was like the second thing I did in the game. That's honestly been my favorite thing to do is operator, switch into Punisher mode, and just beat the brakes off of them. Switch back to operator mode, and there's the baseball bat proficiency, right? And once you use that, it automatically switches you into Punisher mode. And so I just start off in operator mode and then switch into Punisher mode, or I go operator mode, Punisher mode, back to operator mode, use the ability to be automatically pushed into operator mode, because you hit heavy and then you switch into operator mode and you could just smash X to like either boost up their stagger damage, or B, I'll go into operator mode or Punisher mode and then use another ability. Because again, if you ever figure this out, if you use your abilities and operate in Punisher mode, you do more damage. Yeah. So
yeah, I didn't use that baseball bat proficiency hardly at all. I hate that one.
Yeah, the overdrive.
I hate overdrive.
It's kind of dumb.
Yeah. It's like the something like where it confused throws them off or something like that. I can't remember, but it's something to that effect. I know what it is. I just hate it.
Yeah, not a fan. My favorite one is doing that Star Killer into the Focus Strike or Chi Trap.
Yeah, my favorite with multiple adds is Triple Strike. Punisher mode, Triple Strike, and he just eats things alive. And then Maximum Fury with Barret.
Oh, yeah. Dude, Big Bertha, so clutch.
Oh, yeah. I thought that too, and then I switched to the EKG. It actually has more attack overall.
Really?
Yep. After all statted out, it's got more attack, and I think it's slightly better magic ability as well.
Quick question. Can you, in normal mode, or do you have to be in hard mode, max out all your weapons?
You cannot. Like, as far as the skill tree?
Yeah.
You cannot.
That's what I thought.
I still have, because I didn't do all the side quests in 14 and 8 on hard mode, I think I still have 33 more manuscripts to find for Cloud to have a max.
Sounds good.
But we started the show with Final Fantasy VII. We end the show with Final Fantasy VII because it is by far my, and it sounds like our, game of the year this year so far. But, gentlemen, where can they find you at?
I'm on the internet.
You can find me on all social media at Matt_Gu2.
I am on all social media platforms and all gaming platforms, except PlayStation, as Old Man Lukey.
And Matt, where can they find us at? Because you know all this stuff.
Guys, we're on all social media at the TDM Show, except Instagram, which is just TDM Show. If you like listening to what we are putting out, be sure to check out our website. You can drop all of your feedback and requests on different topics there, whitenoisestudio.com/the TDM Show. We're available on all platforms that podcasts are available, so rate, review us, and we love hearing from you guys.
And you can find me on Twitterverse at TONNKSY. That's Tonksy. Hit me up. Let me know what you think about Final Fantasy VII. Let me know if I spoiled that last boss for you. And if I did, I do apologize. It wasn't intended, I promise. Outside of that, gentlemen, I appreciate you doing this once again this week. And I look forward to talking to you all next week. Have a great week.
Have a good one.